What's the best professional business 3D printer that you should consider buying in 2025? Well, this is a question we get a lot. There's a lot of options out there on the marketplace, and there's options from a few $100s to a few $100,000. But which one actually makes sense for your business? There's a couple things to consider when you're buying a 3D printer. One is obviously the materials that it can print. Are the materials compatible with the applications you have in mind? So you always want to start with a problem that you're solving. If you just want to get a 3D printer to get a 3D printer, then buy one of the cheap ones and play with it and come up with new ideas. But if you already know I need a 3D printer to make these parts for my product, then you're at the material selection. Now, a lot of people call us here at Vision Miner and they're like, yeah, I want it in PEEK, polyether ether ketone, because it's the best plastic available, but it's also the most expensive, the most difficult to work with, etc. And a lot of the time, those clients can actually use something like CF nylon, and it works just fine for their application. We now sell all the entire range of Formlabs and all the resins. So if you want flame retardant resin, we've got that. If you want super durable resin that you can throw at a wall repeatedly and it won't budge or break, we've got that. If you just want to do prototyping or you want to make custom colors, they just launched a whole new system to make custom colors so you can do your parts in whatever color you want. There's 45 plus materials in the Formlabs portfolio, and that's why we finally brought them on board. At Vision Miner, we're all about functional materials and functional 3D printing. And back in the day, there was like 5 or 6 materials, and they were kind of like, okay, ABS-like or PLA-like. But now that game has changed. They have perfectly clear resin, incredible stuff. Really, really cool stuff. So if you need super fine detail and your parts are all under this big, or if you get the 4L, they're under like that big, size gamut has increased significantly, then the Formlabs SLA would be a great option. You can go to visionminer.com/Formlabs to see all our offerings for that. And then as far as SLS goes, SLS is another great technology. This one also uses thermoplastics. So unlike SLA, which uses the photopolymer resins, it's like a liquid that cures with light. Thermoplastics melt and then harden. And then you can melt them again and then they harden again. And then you can melt them again and then they can reharden again. So it's the same materials as the FDM, but they're in a powder form, a very, very fine, very consistent powder that gets spread over a plate and then hit with a laser, and then more gets spread over that layer, hit with a laser again, over and over until you come out with your entire part out of this vat of powder. Check out all our videos on that. Really cool process, but this one's great for details like serial numbers and logos on parts. The surface finish is fantastic. Generally, like in PA12, it's just a very light textured nylon, very beautiful. You can throw it directly into the blast system and have them polished automatically, so it's very easy. SLS is also really good for parts with mechanical moving components. You can have like joints and different things like that that move around. You can print things like chainmail or NASA fabric. The materials are a bit more limited. So currently we're looking at PA12, PA11 with carbon fiber. They have a flexible material. And interesting tidbit about Formlabs, they actually discontinued the polypropylene because it didn't work consistently well enough, which is interesting because polypropylene is good to have, but it wasn't good enough for them, and that's just a testament to the quality of their products and the quality they maintain within their own organization. So that brings me to the second point, not the material, but the support and service. Is the company that you're buying this printer from able to help you along the way and make expert advice and give you guidance as you're creating your products and printing parts? This is really, really important, because if you just listen to the salesperson and they're just like, it's the best printer ever and it'll do everything, it'll do that, yeah, you can do anything. But are they actually coming through and printing your part and giving you consultation on what's your application really about? What's the craziest application you might have, and what's the most basic application that you see yourself doing in every single day? Sometimes, a lot of our clients actually will buy the 22 IDEX, which is the machine that we manufacture here at Vision Miner, for high temp materials. A lot of our clients do PEEK and ULTEM and PPSU or PSU and other high temperature materials, but a lot of them actually bought it for very large polycarbonate, carbon fiber nylon, ABS, ASA, and other lower grade engineering parts, but being able to do those with extreme ease and being able to do large format prints because of the heated chamber, which you can't do in something like a bamboo or an open air hobbyist printer, which could print CF nylon, but not consistently over time, over and over and over, in large sizes inside of a heated chamber. So those customers buy it and they're cranking out parts 24/7 for months and months, and then that one job comes along, or that one application where they do need something like ULTEM 1010 for extra high temperature or high voltage applications, and so they have that ability. So they really buy it because they want to be able to do all their main stuff and then have a little bit of extra on the top. Another thing to look at that a lot of people don't, if you're a professional business, you're probably considering something like Stratasys or something like Markforged. And a lot of these higher end companies that are more expensive machines overall also include service plans, yearly maintenance renewals, and things like that, much like the software world. So how much is that service and support plan? How much is the maintenance for the first year? How much time will it take to do that maintenance? Aside from the spare parts, do you need someone to operate this machine and become an expert at the machine? Or is it more plug and play where they'll take care of everything for you, they'll send a tech out, and then they'll fix the machine, but then maybe you have some downtime. So, it's sort of a trade-off. I like to say a lot of the time, you can get a great Stratasys system that will be relatively easy to use and do most of your stuff, and your janitor can start the print if he really needs to, because they're designed like that. But you'll be locked into a bunch of service plans and a bunch of proprietary materials and a lot higher cost and a lot higher expensive. So it's a trade-off. If you have the ability to spend $200,000 on a professional industrial grade 3D printer, maybe it's large format, then you could consider, do I actually need this piece of hardware to take up that entire budget? Or maybe I want to split that in half and I'll pay some guy $100,000, and then I'll buy multiple machines of a smaller size, or maybe one really robust machine or two, maybe even a few hobbyists. A lot of the time, it's good to have multiple machines. You have multiple ideas at the same time, or different ones that specialize in different materials, or this one just works, and it's easy to print PLA. I can print a prototype or a trinket or a toy for my nieces and nephews anytime without even thinking about it, versus this other machine. It's more expensive, it's more robust, but you can do those really serious applications. So we're gonna go over what machines we have available here at Vision Miner, starting at the top. If you're in aerospace or you're in medical device development and you need really robust high temperature materials, then the AON3D Hylo is an excellent choice. This machine has a 250 Celsius chamber and build plate with dual independent 500 Celsius nozzles. Now, what does this mean? That means the nozzles are able to extrude and print any filament thermoplastic known to man. Anything that's been put on a spool for 3D printing, it can take it in 1.75 millimeter. The chamber and the bed temperature at 250 C means that you can do extremely large parts in high temp plastics like PEEK or ULTEM 9085 or ULTEM 1010, things where if you were to try that in a lower chamber temperature and you want to print this big part, the warping forces would be so great that it's just not going to happen. You're going to be failing once you get up to a certain height. So the AON3D Hylo is really the most robust hardware. On top of that, they've got some incredible AI software that goes through and simulates the part and determines where there's going to be hot spots or cold spots to make sure that throughout the entire part you're getting good layer welding and you're not getting melty bits or maybe areas that were too cool and didn't have good layer bonding, and you're going to have a failure point there. So it has the AI software that predicts all this and creates the toolpath and G-code for that, and then it prints it, and it gathers all that data while it's sensing, so it knows how hot it was everywhere, how much back pressure, if there was any bumps or anything that it went over, and it will tell you if there's defects, and then you can see an entire after print report to see the consistency across parts, especially if you're in production. Again, for aerospace, this is absolutely critical. When you're printing with high-performance polymers like PEEK or ULTEM, the process isn't forgiving. Small changes in chamber airflow, part geometry, or density can make the difference between a strong part and one that fails. The Hylo is a bit different. It runs on Basis software, which actually bakes polymer physics into the slicer. Instead of just setting a chamber temperature and hoping for the best, it adjusts millimeter by millimeter. The tool path, the extrusion, the cooling, all tuned to the geometry and the polymer you're using. Over 25 sensors feed live data into the process, so you can literally see layer by layer quality as the part is built. That means fewer defects, more consistent results, and way less time wasted on things like CT scanning or downstream inspection for certified parts. And the numbers back it up. Hylo parts have tested up to 85% stronger than competitor FDM prints. The mean time to failure, about a third longer. That's the difference between a part that cracks under load and one that keeps running in the field. For aerospace, oil and gas, or satellite hardware, that reliability is not optional, it's mandatory. When it comes to cost and throughput, Stratasys doesn't just charge you for the printer. They lock you into an ecosystem that bleeds you dry. $60 single-use chips on every spool, disposable build sheets and nozzles, even their OpenAM software. It's $12 grand a year, or $80,000 for a perpetual license. Even after all that, you're still getting standard material performance. On the Hylo, open materials, no chips, no gatekeeping. And then there's time. A Stratasys Fortis takes over 3 hours just to get up to temperature for ULTEM 9085. A Hylo does the same job in 22 minutes. With PEC, Stratasys needs about 3 hours, while the Hylo is printing in under a half an hour. That's the difference between waiting around half the day or actually hitting your production deadlines. So when you stack it all up, stronger parts, fewer defects, real-time visibility, faster heating up, open materials, and massively lower operating costs. The Hylo isn't just another option. It's a better machine in basically every measurable way. That's for the right clients and the right customers. If you need that, you know who you are, and you can give us a call or shoot us an email, and we will help you procure that or do a little consultation first to make sure it's going to work for you. Now, if you want to go down in the budget a little bit in FDM, then we've got our 22 IDEX machine. Now, the 22 IDEX was born after 8 years printing high temperature materials like PEEK and ULTEM on open material machines like the AON3D, the Intamsys FunMat, the Cincinnati SAM, and a bunch of other machines around the market. And after years of doing this, we said we need to have control. We need to be able to make the machine that we're using every day so that we can implement the features that we want, that we know we need. And this has been absolutely critical in our development as a company, but also in our print farm and our printing service. Being able to do the parts and have the features that we want implemented at the factory that day has been amazing. And the price point is coming in at a shockingly low $15,000. It's really $14,900. Now, a lot of you, if you're in the hobbyist market, are going to say, that's super expensive, which, yeah, compared to hobbyists, it definitely is. This is not a hobbyist machine. This machine is developed to run these high temp engineering thermoplastics and do it over and over and over again for years. And if something breaks, it's designed so you can easily get in there and fix it yourself on a weekend, thanks to our extremely detailed wiki documentation and support videos. And if those don't help, you've always got our American support team right here in the USA, where you can call any day and we actually pick up the phone and we value relationships. And if you have had your machine, we've been talking, we'll be, hey Joe, what's up? How you been? Good deal. All right. That's a really, really big point. Again, this machine will print any plastic that's been spooled for 3D printing, any of them. It will run it in 1.75 millimeters. There are limitations though. You're not going to do a massive 2-foot tall ULTEM 9085 part with thick walls, 100% solid. That's what the Hylo's for. What you can do is massive nylon, ABS, ASA, polycarbonate parts, the full build volume. Go back and watch our huge ABS print. We did the whole build volume can for solvent spraying at a machine shop. Really, really cool and big. And then you can also do a significant portion of the high temperature materials. Over the years, what we found is that probably 80-90% of the parts in PEEK and ULTEM and PPSU are smaller than a softball. So there's not that many parts that we've come across that we couldn't print on the 22 IDEX, or in the past, something like the FunMat HT. There's a lot of capability that you get out of a machine that has even just a 90-seat chamber. So this is running at 100 Celsius in the chamber with 200 Celsius on the bed, which actually gives you a few inches of much hotter chamber temp. So if you're doing large parts, but they're close to the bed, you can do a lot more. And then of course the nozzles both go to 500 Celsius and they're also independent. So you can do multiple materials, multiple nozzle sizes, support material on one, or you can even duplicate and print the same part, two of them on the same build plate at the same time, or mirror so you can print opposites. You know, another one of the big questions is detail. How much detail, how much fidelity can you get in a print? You know, can I print a tiny, tiny little part and have my logo on the side, or have a serial number on the edge of it, or something in small text? Well, in FDM land, you ain't gonna make that happen, because remember, we're squeezing plastic through a nozzle that's 0.5 millimeter wide. Right, so your smallest feature size is like 0.5 millimeter or 0.2 millimeter layer heights, 0.1, you can go down, yeah, you can do more. But detail is not where FDM. If you're looking for highly detailed parts, stop looking at FDM printers. You want to look into SLA or SLS. Now these two technologies, one, SLA, this uses a liquid photopolymer resin. So it uses a screen or a laser or a projector, and it has a build plate that goes down into a vat of liquid with a very thin layer of that liquid still between the laser or the screen and the build plate, and then it hits it with light to cure it. And then it comes up, and then it does that over and over and over, and it raises your part out of this vat of liquid. Now this stuff gets you insane detail. Depending on the material you're using, it'll get you incredible fine details, textures, very accurate parts. In the SLA, I forgot to mention pricing, you are talking around $2,000 to $5,000 for the small machine, and then $10,000 to $20,000 for the big machine if you get all the accessories and stuff like that. In SLS, we're talking closer to $60,000 to $70,000 for an entire setup. So the entire ecosystem where you have the printer and then the sifting station where you take your parts out and reclaim the powder, and then the blast station where you can blast and polish your parts into a final beautiful finish. I must say, using Formlabs products has been one of the easiest and most streamlined experiences in the entire additive manufacturing industry that I've ever experienced. It just works. It's mind-blowing. It really is. You know, when it comes to the FDM machines like the 22 IDEX or the Hylo, you still need a little bit more technical experience. You know, there's some software for slicing that you know, it's good to know certain things to optimize parts. Now, of course, we include optimized profiles for every material with the 22, but a lot of the times it's not the print. It's actually the design that was bad for the manufacturing process. And that's why that's so important. No matter what process you choose, FDM, SLA liquids, SLS powders, you still need to have good design. Now, SLS is probably the most forgiving because you never have to really use any support materials. It's all supported in this, you know, vat of powder as it's built, and so you can do unlimited overhangs and sort of any design feature. Only thing you've got to watch out for are tolerances if you have, you know, tightly synced moving parts within each other. You don't want them to fuse together. SLA, you do have to still consider overhangs, but it's the opposite of FDM because it's upside down, so you need to basically hang everything from the build plate with little supports going down. And then in FDM, you're printing up, and so you need to consider, hey, instead of having this 90-degree overhang, why don't I just make that 45 degrees and then straight up, because then I can get rid of all the support material in this area. It'll print faster, it'll be stronger, there'll be less artifacting in the print because it didn't have to change heads or move around or anything like that. So these are all considerations, and today on the market, the best professional printers you can buy come with a team that's there to support you. And here at Vision Miner, that's always what we've been about since day one. We believe in relationships with our customers and making sure that they have the guidance and support that they need to have success with the machine. Because again, our whole goal is to save you time and money. And so you're going to spend money with us, and then if you're not getting that time and money back, then something's wrong. And like, we need to figure that out and make that work, especially. So we really take upfront consultation really, really seriously here. We want to make sure you're getting the right device, the right technology, the right material, so you don't go down this trail and find out, oh, that was the wrong thing. And then it's just not good for anybody. If you're interested in anything I mentioned here today, please do give us a call, shoot us an email. Check out the website, visionminer.com. We're always here to help. And without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Have a positive rest of your day. I'll see you on the next video.